Hi, welcome back to episode 2 of Cantripped. I'm so glad you liked the first one enough to give us a second chance. Hopefully we will not disappoint. I am Jamie. I will be your host and DM today. My pronouns are they, them, and here is my party.
Hi, my name is Beck. I use she, they pronouns, and I play Rowan, who uses she, her pronouns.
You'd remember Rowan as the bard in episode 1 who saw a lute player get fired and decided to sit up right there and play a song about the man who got fired right in front of his bandmates.
Hello, my name is Art. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Kieran, and their pronouns are he, they.
You'll remember Kieran as the unintentionally creepy cloaked figure who approached the rest of the party during the celebration and offered them free buffet passes.
Hi, my name is Connor. My pronouns he, him, and I am playing Diactrakiel or Daniel, whose pronouns are he, him.
You'll remember Daniel as the orc paladin who by the skin of his teeth managed to sneak backstage to follow behind some of the guards.
Hi, I'm Ven. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm playing Nephrys, who uses he, him pronouns.
You'd remember Nephrys as the ranger from episode 1, whose disguise dropped suddenly when the anti-magic field settled over the crowd, revealing him to be a tiefling. Awesome! Okay, let's get back into it. Last we left off, the coronation was about to begin. Nephrys has been taken into a kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Stakes.
Yes!
Quality?
Thank you. Low stakes, I forgot the other word I was looking for, has been taken into a low stakes custody. Daniel has managed to sneak his way in backstage, and our buddies on the outside, Rowan and Kieran, are preparing to watch the beginning of the coronation. Alright, so there is kind of a loud bell toll noise that plays throughout the entire open area for this crowd of thousands of people who are prepared to witness this ceremony. The crowd quiets immediately at the dinging noise, and you see the royal family beginning to take the stage. So, who comes out first is the current queen, who is a rather elderly-looking elf, which is how you know that she is old, because elves live for a long-ass time. She has been on the throne for centuries. She steps out first onto the stage, walks right up to the front of the stage to address the crowd. She is going to be taking control of this coronation as she is the one passing the throne. Behind her is the Grand Duke and Duchess, parents of the soon-to-be new king. They step up to either side of the queen, and the three of them take a deep bow to their people, acknowledging how much trust their people are putting into them for this ceremony. You even notice the Duchess blows a few kisses out into the crowd before stepping back. And they step kind of back, not all the way to the back of the stage, but towards the middle of the stage, and there is a marble kind of plinth that has been set out in the middle of the stage. They just take a nice spot behind that. The queen stays at the front of the stage, and the next to step out is the prince. He steps up between his parents, who both each wrap an arm around him, give him words of encouragement briefly that are not picked up in the amplification spell. He does not step to the front of the stage to address his people yet. It is bad luck. He will address the crowd for the first time as their king. So, can everyone roll insight for me real quick?
Fear. I got a 16.
Alright. Art, you can
18.
roll with advantage.
18.
You probably don't need to then.
Nah, 18.
Okay, cool.
I got a 9.
Alright.
I got a 17.
Okay.
I think I said, but I don't know if it through.
I did not hear you, but thank you for repeating yourself. Alright, everyone except for Nephrys notices as the Duchess and Duke are kind of praising their son, preparing him for this, the Duke specifically avoids touching the Duchess at all, as they're both crowded around their son. It's a bit of an awkward interaction.
Murder, I'm pointing my finger. Not actually.
Beck, you're so set.
The player. Know that me, the player.
You're so determined.
I'm pointing my finger.
Imagine if Rowan, just in the middle of a coronation, shouts murderer and points the stage.
No.
Just imagine.
Yeah, no.
It's like shouting bomb in an airport. Like, jeez.
Really?
Alright, So the queen, after the whole family has been introduced, addresses the crowd. You can tell as she speaks, she has such apparent joy and pride. It's almost infectious. She has been awaiting for this day for so long. She's so excited for today. She goes, "My dear friends, my family, I come before you today in a rather bittersweet manner. Today, I address you as your queen for the final time." There's kind of a murmur of people who live in the kingdom, kind of like sadness, kind of comforting murmur heads through the crowd. She goes, "But fear not, my beloved kingdom, for I leave you in the hands of the most capable young man I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. Not only do I hold the deepest faith in him, but the gods above have visited me to tell me that the rise of a new king is upon us. A higher blessing is bestowed upon the son of my daughter. After 2 generations of my rule, it is time. I am so proud of the future we will hold under King Aurelius." She kind of lets her words echo throughout the crowd. A kind of polite round of applause starts up, not like raucous, just a quick acknowledgement of her words before the ceremony is to continue. After she finishes speaking, takes another bow to the audience, and you watch as she reaches up and removes a very ornate silver locket from around her neck. You can see as she takes it off, her shoulders lift as she removes it, like it almost looks like it weighs about 20 times more than it should as she lifts it off of her shoulders. And also you notice as the chain slides off of her shoulders, the clouds in the sky start to like almost swirl, spiraling around the space above the amphitheater. It's not in a particularly threatening way, just you notice the world acknowledging this. And gusts of wind sweep through the crowd. You can all notice they're sparking with excited energy. They whisper to the crowd and the people of the kingdom promises of protection and happiness and promises of a grand new king to come. Not in any sort of coherent language, just kind of a subconscious message of excitement and happiness shoots through this crowd and soars up to the stage in front of them. Everyone roll another insight check for me on that one. Sorry if it's just me talking at you for a little while here. Bear with me. This is...
Lore.
A, you're good. B, nat 20.
Okay.
16. Good God.
I got a
What
6.
don't you incite?
A 6? So wait, I heard 6,
Ben got
20,
a 6. I got a 16.
16, and what's the last one?
11.
11. All right. So, Kieran and Rowan, you guys can almost hear that something is not clicking. There are promises of a king, but you don't hear the name Aurelius on the wind anywhere. The queen lifts the locket to her frail lips. She lays a gentle kiss into it and whispers something into it, something that the spell enhancing her voice doesn't pick up, something just between her and the locket.
Rowan and Kieran just standing there, like, looking around.
Y'all get that one?
Y'all hearing this shit? And, like,
There
some
also
guy next
does-
to them is like, no.
Yeah,
Please,
no.
Shut up. Queen is talking.
There's a sense of unease, kind of hair standing up on the back of the neck of 2 of you, but it doesn't. You look around. Nobody else. Everyone else is enraptured by the ceremony. There's no one else who seems distasted by any of this. All right. She whispers something gently into this locket. Takes a final moment. It looks like she's saying goodbye. It looks like she's holding much more in her hands than a locket. Lightning sparks in the clouds above the amphitheater. The world is just as excited as the crowd. The queen gently waves Prince Aurelius forward to the front of the stage. He looks to both of his parents, who both nod and rush him forward. He straightens and walks as confidently as he possibly can up to join his grandmother at the plinth, where she stands across from him. She holds the locket clasped in both of her hands, and as the prince was trained, he lays both of his hands over hers, the locket clasped between the both of them. She bows her head and mutters a small prayer into their bonded hands, this time something not just for the locket, but for the 2 of them. Once again, not caught up in the spell. You cannot hear what she's saying, but, some things are only meant between the two of them. I will use the same insight roll as before, but the two of you who are now kind of put off ever so slightly, also notice that in this prayer, Aurelius opens their eyes briefly to peek at their hands, and there's a slight just flash of fear that goes across their eyes, but not enough for it to be noticeable by any of the crowd. Just a brief flash before he manages to bring his stoic demeanor back over his face. The queen finishes with her prayer, and Aurelius lets his clasped hands fall back to his side off of the locket, and the queen pauses for a moment, just to look at her grandson, still holding the locket clasped in her hands, and she doesn't say anything, but it's a moment of pure love, and a tear slips down her cheek as she smiles at her grandson. And after that moment has passed, there's definitely some people who are sniffling in the crowd as well. She leans down to place the locket atop the plinth. Gingerly, she arranges the chain in a aesthetic little loop, makes it look nice, and then steps back. After she does this, the queen does something saved exclusively for this moment. A sign from an elven ruler, a sign from one of the most powerful diplomatic rulers in the world of total devotion, total trust. The queen clasps her hands again in front of her and kneels, drops to both knees. Only the oldest members of the crowd, only people from the Elven Kingdom or other Fae races who may live that long will have ever seen this royal family do such a sign. So a lot of the younger audience, the audience who's along for the ride, will gasp in shock, will kind of... That's very out of character. Not out of character, but, like, that's a big deal, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It kind of shakes through the crowd, the realness of the moment, of everything that's happening here. Just this display that's happening. The energy in the air is quite literally electric. By now, not just the people who had a little bit of an off-putting feeling. Everyone has the hair on the back of their neck standing up in shock and in excitement. Everyone's hair is beginning to stand on end. There's such an electric feeling in the air. But the static runs dry after a moment of silence when the crowd realizes that Aurelius does not kneel. He does not even drop to one knee. He stays standing. The words of the Grand Duke are caught up in the spell and are transported throughout the entire crowd as he steps forward. His voice wavers as he asks, "My son?" Aurelius looks to his father and then out to the crowd. But the gods do not wait for a mortal pause. A strike of lightning parts the projection above the amphitheater down the center as it reaches from the clouds who had been spiraling and lands center of the plinth right where the locket was. The queen, who has not noticed such a pause, assumes that Aurelius is kneeling across from her, assumes everything is fine, is bathed in the light of the supernatural lightning. For any other cause, any lightning strike like this would kill everyone on stage, but it doesn't. Those in the first few rows who managed to keep their eyes on the ceremony can see as Aurelius fumbles for something in his pocket, but by the time the strike has diminished, Aurelius has vanished entirely, and the locket from the plinth has done the same. Immediately after, chaos erupts. People are screaming through the crowds. The royal family looks around in wild confusion. The guards start to flush out into the crowd. They start to gather up the royal family, push them backstage. But for a moment... Here, Art, I'm gonna drag you into a secret channel real quick.
Oh, god damn it.
So, as the family is dispersing, people around you are starting to flee. You are stuck in the spot. You see as, not your father, but the father figure you have come to know as this time, steps forward to the front of the stage instead of retreating, and he is very clearly searching the crowd for you. What do you do?
I'm gonna try, like, I think I'm gonna try and, like, run or hide. Like, I'm gonna give it a, yeah. Like, get
All right.
mixed up with the crowd a little bit.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I needed to know. We could pop back in.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'm gonna abruptly jump backstage to where the royal family is abruptly being ushered off stage into this backstage area. The guards no longer give a single shit about any of the people that they have hold back here. You guys are being ushered out. Dan is at this point that they're like, who the fuck are you? Get out. Everyone who's back there who is not a guard or a royal is being ushered out the doors. Get them out of here. They do not need to see anything that's happening in here. You guys are thrown out. And presumably the Rowan, you are still standing in amongst the crowd close by the backstage door, unless you have moved away.
Yeah, probably. I'm
Okay.
probably still close to there.
All right. So you see most of the people who are released like bolt out. They're like, we got away, run. Daniel and Nephris, what do you guys do? You're like shoved together out this door.
So they're gonna shove Nephris out, and he's already frozen in fear of things that I will not explain. But he's definitely absolutely terrified of the fact that he's in the same place as whatever the hell has just happened. Might be hyperventilating a little bit. He's kind of frozen there. Not much is going on.
I think if Daniel sees that Nephris is like frozen up, he is. I think his first step is he like pulls off a cloak and like throws it over Neff's horns, and then like grabs him by the shoulders and is like, "All right, come on, we're going in the crowd. Come on."
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're
So
getting the
then,
fuck out of here.
yeah, that is very different enough from the rest of the behavior. Rowan would definitely, absolutely notice that. While we are doing this, Art, can you quickly roll a stealth roll for me? And I'm gonna roll against you. Oh!
Well,
I didn't like the sound of that.
Scared DM noises.
why
When
would
the
you
GM
scared? I got
When-
12. Why are you scared?
The three of you will also all notice. As far as the rest of the crowd is kind of flocking, you notice immediately that instead of running or rushing away, Nephris is frozen and Daniel's trying to help him. And you also notice that there is a creature very clearly trying to blend in with the crowd, but not doing it very well. Daniel and Nephris would recognize it as the creepy little figure you saw earlier. But while the entire crowd is kind of rushing with specific intent back home or something, this figure is instead kind of just trying to follow someone. They jump from path to path, like trying to hide, if you can assume. All four of you are aware of each other. Panic has descended. What are we doing?
Can I roll an insight on Kieran? To like, is Kieran's motions like panicked trying to get out of there, or is it like intent?
Roll
For a
me
certain reason.
an insight.
Also,
So I can also oppose this if they want.
Also, Nephris is not going to make any sort of move to do much of anything. He's just going to follow.
Okay.
Wherever Dan goes now, Nephris seems to be following. We're gonna go with that.
I'm waiting to see what Dan is about to do before I figure out
That's
what
a 19 to
Okay.
to vibe check. Kieran.
There is so much panic here. They are just trying to get away, just trying to hide. There is so much panic in these movements to get away.
Can Dan run up and just scoop Kieran up on her one arm? And it's like, nope, you're also coming with me.
Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you trying to struggle, Kieran, or anything?
I think in confusion, like for a second, like
Okay.
I think like if you just get scooped up
Okay.
and never spoke to this guy, he's gonna think he's like, oh shit, oh no, oh god, and like panic, fight back.
I'm gonna
If you
real
don't
quick.
say anything.
I'm gonna real quick steal you one more time, Art. This would be so much easier if I could send a message, but for the sake of podcast, I'm just gonna keep having to steal. Just real quick, we'll be right back. So, as you are running and you are scooped up by Daniel, not very inconspicuously, you hear a whisper in your ear, which is spell work, and it's from your father for all intents and purposes. And he says, come home with your brother, or don't come home at all.
Oh no.
In addition,
Do I have any? Oh yeah, finish. I was gonna
Okay,
ask the
no,
question, but keep going.
In addition, those words send a chill down your spine, but at the same time, you feel a cold weight on your chest.
Oh shit. I look down.
It's the locket from the ceremony.
Do I have like a clue what's happened here? Like in character little guy version of me?
I roll insight
Okay.
or history, whichever you prefer.
Okay, we'll see which one's higher. We'll go with
I think
that.
they're
I think they're the same. No, I have a history.
intelligence and wisdom. All right.
Yeah, intelligence is higher.
Okay, sick.
14.
Okay. You've never heard of anything like this happening, but you can sure as hell tell from the whispers on the wind that not only did Aurelius choose to run, but the gods did not choose him either.
Oh. Okay. Oh shit. Oh fuck. So I'm just like, oh, he just ran. Oh, cool. And no, he wasn't chosen. Oh, cool. Good to know. Okay, we can go back now, I think. And do you have anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Welcome back.
Follow that.
I have such fun.
You know, I don't think I'm struggling actually.
No longer
No.
struggling.
Curls up into a ball and is saying nothing.
By the way, Jamie, I was also going to have Rowan go help Kieran.
Okay.
So, but I think I was talking to Connor, and Dan just got there first.
Okay,
now,
okay.
So now
So
she's
now you're
kind of
just
just like,
following.
people, I guess I'll go with you.
Sick. All right. Daniel,
Dan is like-
since you are kind of running this whole group, where are you trying to go?
I think trying to stay with the crowd so that they're not like an obvious group going somewhere, but he's also just trying to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible.
Okay.
To nowhere in particular, just away.
Anyone can roll perception here for me, but especially Daniel, your roll is going to be the most important one here.
Oh,
got
I
a
just rolled a
10.
nat 20.
Oh,
Oh,
How have I
That's
been
12.
picked up, actually, is my question.
I was gonna say, did you want to have him be picked up, or is Dan just like grabbing him by the arm?
Considering you're also just holding a whole another person, I'm imagining. It's
That was the
dragging.
thing.
I was
It's
imagining
gotta
it
probably
like
be
dragging.
dragging.
Probably an arm.
You know what? Dan grabs Rowan, not Rowan. Dan grabs Neff's hand and is just pulling Neff along by the hand.
Aww. Cute.
The unison from me
Aw.
and Beck.
It's been 2 episodes.
It's like an
These two-
hour.
These two have had exactly one interaction, and we're like, they're cute.
They barely know each other's names.
They don't
know
know each other's names.
They don't know each other's name in yet.
And yet,
They've had one interaction and it was just awkwardly like not running into each other.
The weird, awkward politeness of, oh my god, I need to get out of the way. Ooh. That's what it was.
tucks hair
Yeah,
behind
nat
ear.
20. Tell me
Nat
what is
20.
seen.
Nat 20, what did everyone else roll?
I got a 12.
I got a 10.
12, 10, what was
7.
11? Okay.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I will say anyone in the double digits will notice this. There are guards dispersing among the crowd, searching through the crowd. Nephris,
Can I ask-
you... Oh, yeah? Go for it.
Sorry, I was gonna say, are they like grabbing any specific people, or are they just searching? right
They
now?
are just searching. They will occasionally, like, pull back hoods or look at faces, things like that. Nephris, you assume they are looking for Aurelius. But they
So-
are fanning out among the crowd.
So I'm gonna do kind of like a scared little like tap with my spare tap on Dan's bicep and just kind of like point and go, we can't go through there, it's not going to go well. And it kind of let him decide where we want to go.
Okay.
Could I cast something in here? Are we still on
Are we
the
still in that?
anti-magic
Yeah.
place?
I will say, you can try, but it won't work, but a
Alright,
little bit
then I won't
farther.
try.
But you guys are close to the edge of the magic field.
Okay.
And, roll insight for me.
Okay. 19.
Okay, yeah, you can tell that clearly whoever cast the magical field, probably multiple people, their attention on it is faltering. There are other things going
I can
on.
imagine.
So you can definitely pinpoint where you would need to go, a point you would need to get outside of the field faster
Okay.
as it's shrinking.
Give it
you
up.
can-
Give it up then. This is fine.
Okay.
I was gonna say Dan might, if Nephros is like, all right, we can't go through there. He kind of like stumbles to a halt and is like, all right, fine. And he like turns around and just comes face to face with Rowan. I feel like
Hi.
Rowan's like following somewhat close behind them. He just says,
Hi.
hi.
Right? Well, I know
Hello.
a good exit.
Yes.
Do you think?
You definitely would. I would say your options are you are kind of running away from the main stage area. You can take a hard turn into the streets of the city, which you would definitely lose people faster, or you can take a straight shot like past the gates of the castle, which would get you out of the magical field faster, but you would definitely know a easy way to hide no matter where you are.
I think like Kieran will like tug on I'm being held, I guess. Tug on some article of
Turn on a
clothing
sleep.
of Dan and like point in the in the good direction, probably going to the city, like to
Okay.
fan out and take like a slightly different route than other people and just point in that direction like really intensely, like that, go that way.
Does
Okay.
that. All right, Cloak says city. We're going city.
Cloak
And he
says
just turns
city.
and turns and starts moving towards the city.
He's Cloak now.
He's just been deemed Cloak.
Cloak said city. We're going to the city.
All right.
Okay.
As you are heading into the city, Kieran would definitely know like places that you could hide, like alleyways and things you could get into, or you would be also familiar with a lot of the store owners in this part of the town as well.
Is there
Whatever
like
plan?
a bussin' bakery owned by a really nice lady? I'm just inputting this
There
lore
is
that-
now.
Oh my
like a
god.
really sweet lady at a bakery who like doesn't know nothing.
There
She's probably like,
absolutely is.
wonderful. I'm directing us there.
Okay, just inside the bounds of the city, and you get out of the like kind of wide open courtyard area where the amphitheater is. You get into the city a little bit, and you see this woman like kind of flipping her open sign to closed and closing the blind. And you're a little bit ways away from her storefront.
I think Kieran like at that point is like, put me down. He does like that cat wiggling thing.
Fantastic.
Until is let go of, and then
Are you-
is still going that direction.
Here's the thing: are you trying to, like, Daniel? Do you set them down, or do they have to wiggle
I think
out?
once they start resisting, they'll probably
Okay,
then it'll
cool,
probably
cool.
just drop them.
Drop 'em.
And I don't think Kieran like runs. I think just like makes eye contact. Like, I'm not learning away from you. I just need to walk now. And heads just to this little bakery where this this lady. I don't know how little or big she is. I don't know her lore. I just know there's a lady and she is at a bakery. And I'm going to the door with big old eyes and gently knocking on it, like really
I don't know
small
her
knock.
lore.
All right. This woman has like just kind of finished closing up shop. You like knock on the door and you see her like part the blinds and like peek through. Are you keeping your hood up and your face wraps on, or are you? What's the plan?
I think she can see my face.
Okay, she
like
can see
my
your
eyes.
face. So she parts the blinds, her eyes widen, and then she closes the blinds, unlocks the door, opens it quickly, and like almost grabs your arm and like pulls you into her, and glances at everyone else kind of suspiciously, but waves you in as well. Because if they're with you, they're coming in, kind of thing.
Wonderful news.
Sweet.
I'm being held by an old lady. Win for the
Congratulations.
community. Thank you.
She like pats you down and is like, "Are you hurt, sweetie? What on earth just happened?"
I'm okay. I've a lot.
Yeah, that's one word
And, like,
for it.
Looks back at the other three and it's just like, I don't know who you are, but thank you for helping me. Question mark. He just looks at all of them like, how did I obtain these 3 individuals? I don't know how there was
Obtained.
3 of you. I know one picked me up, but where'd the other 2 come from? Like, are they all friends? I don't know. Kind of like,
Okay.
uh-huh.
I'm gonna be real. I think I need a minute to just process what I just witnessed. What happened? Did anybody? That's my question. Did anybody?
Period.
Fantastic.
I think Dan is like, he's kind of after carrying one person and dragging the other one, he's like bent over a little bit. He's like, I have no fucking idea what just happened, but is everyone okay for the most part here?
Yeah, no scratches, so I'll take that as a win.
I think
Neff
Karen will
is
like
kind of just
finish.
frozen and not processing at all.
The old woman looks between all of you. I'll say her name is Nancy.
Nancy!
She
I
is.
love Nancy.
Would die for Nancy.
Nancy, can we have some cookies? Can we have a croissant, Nancy?
That's literally what I was about to say. She is kind of staring wide-eyed at the 4 of you, and then she kind of like just nods a little bit and shuffles back behind the counter, and then grabs like an array of things on a tray and brings them back to you. There's like cookies, things on the tray. Just holds it out to each of you.
I'm yawning.
That is very kind of you, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, don't mention it, sweetheart.
Yeah, thanks. Again, what?
He failed.
What?
It
I'm
did not
sorry.
work. He wasn't chosen.
What? He got bowed to. That was like, that looked,
Yeah,
it
that was
looked
like a
pretty
whole
chosen to
thing.
me. But I guess
Not by the gods. They
Oh, boy.
They didn't choose him. It was supposed to. They were supposed to.
It's just like looking down at hands, just like.
Staring ominously at the cookie in their hands.
The Nancy will come over and rub your back a little bit. Does Nancy know who you are?
Yeah, I think Nancy.
Okay.
Now that Nancy exists, Nancy's in on it.
Okay, Nancy's in on it. All right, she knows you pretty well. She will lean down and whisper in your ear and go, do these people know you?
Mm-mm. He shakes his head.
Okay. She will just nod her head a little bit and like kind of give you a knowing look that she is not going to say anything.
Sorry, am I typing?
How dare you?
How dare.
you're ruining this audio medium.
Our immersion, how dare you?
Actually, this entire time, Dan is tapping on a keyboard in the
The entire
background.
time, the entire time,
doing,
Dan
man?
is like nervously tapping his fingers on a desk or a table.
Carry on. I don't remember what we were talking about, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Neff's kind of gonna attempt to kind of like be aware of his surroundings. He's kind of gonna look around a little bit and go, "Okay, you've all been so lovely, but I really have to get going.
You want to go back out there?
No, but
They're going to be looking.
who?
Aureus, anyone?
Oh,
They'll comb the streets. Everyone.
oh no, I can't be here.
Whoa. Take a breather.
Everything's all right. He goes over to Neff and he like adjusts the cloak that he threw around Neff's shoulders. See, everything's fine.
That's
Well, I wouldn't go straight to fine, but
nearly. Okay. Neff is like looking relatively upward toward Dan, and he's like, "You're really nice, but it's really not fine. Oh, I'm gonna be so much trouble when they find me, and
please don't tell me I followed a bunch of people who are wanted by the police in here. Is that the situation? Is this gonna be a problem?
Well, I promise
I
you,
don't
ma'am,
think I'm
I am
wanted
not
person.
wanted by the police. Says Nancy.
Nancy? One of her several accounts.
Yeah.
Good to know. 1 out of 5. All right, I'll take
Nancy
that.
has done some shit.
She's lived a long life.
You will never catch her though. You'll
She
never
doesn't
catch her
even-
slipping.
Nancy feels like the kind of person
Flippin'.
who like she like in a nursing home at like age 90 would be like, I killed my husband. I did it.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. No.
All 3 of them.
Deathbed confession type beat.
Yeah.
I should probably clarify. I don't mind if y'all are criminals or whatnot. That just kind of takes that just makes this a smidgen more complicated. She like peeks out the
every
blinds.
single NPC you interact with is going to Southern. Just a tiny little bit. I'm
Sorry.
incapable.
That was the thing. I was just saying.
Elven
I was
Kingdom.
just saying that like Dan's accent is slowly shifting to be more like Rowan's accent the more I speak.
There's something
We're
about
all
the Southern
accent
accent.
mirrors. We're all accent mirrors. Oh no. Look, man, I'm actually in the Appalachian area. Okay, this is just my normal voice. I hold back.
Okay. Nancy's like, well, everyone take a breath. Let me start. My name's Nancy. I've run this bakery and lived in this city for years. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure, Nancy. Thank you.
Yep. Nice to meet you. Can I look out can I like peek out the blinds to see like what the hell is
No
going
one
on out
says
there?
her
No
name
one
back.
else is saying the name.
Fucking-
If
I
no
think,
one
I
else
think
does,
if
Dan
you go to
will.
look at your
'cause I
blinds,
think-
Kieran just really quietly goes, I'm Kieran. And then like sees the looking at the blind and goes, oh, okay, wait, that wasn't okay. Hold on, I'll take that.
Neff's gonna see that Nancy's making the effort, and then barely anyone else is. He's gonna go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Nephris. It's really lovely to meet you. I'm so sorry that we've brought this in here.
She like kind
I
of
promise I'm not usually like this.
she
I was having a
takes
panic attack on the floor at this moment.
she takes your hands in hers. She takes your hands in hers and just kind of like strokes them gently. She's like, "It's all right, dear. Would you like a cup of tea?"
Oh, that would be lovely, actually. Do you need help making it at all? Because I'm actually
She
quite
goes,
an
"Oh."
expert.
She goes, "Oh no. You sit right here." She pulls one of the chairs out of the little tables for you and like sits you in it forcibly, and then heads back behind the counter again and comes back with a cup of warm tea.
I love Nancy. Nothing bad can happen
Go
to
for
Nancy,
Nancy.
or I will burn this campaign to the ground.
I like to think like while it was making the tea, Kieran like scooted closer in like a weird sideways shuffle to Nephris, like, it's really good. And then like nothing else, like off-putting.
Aw.
Okay. Is that the tea? Okay. If you. Confused and muttering like.
I love that you guys were so threatening to interrogate every single NPC, and then I give you Nancy, and you're like, "Aww."
Perfect.
Listen, we're all having a moment. We just witnessed a maybe assassination, a maybe smiting down.
If everyone else introduces themselves, Dan probably kind of like runs a hand through it. My name is Diaxthrakill.
Gesundheit.
I was waiting for somebody to do it.
No,
sorry.
at the
I'm
same
sorry,
time as
I'm
Rowan.
stressed.
At the same time as Rowan blesses him, Neff's gonna go, oh, that's a lovely name.
Sorry, I'm stressed.
People call me. No, you're fine. People call me Daniel. If you would like.
Alright, can do that.
Okay.
I guess if we're all going around the circle, hi, I'm Rowan. What's going on out there?
I was lightning and
No, I saw that part. I'm
Uh.
talking about right now. I'm looking out the blinds. What is happening outside the door?
Sorry, that's me. Sorry, I gotta take this real quick. So outside the blinds, the crowd.
Take this
Sorry, I'm getting a phone call from one of my players. Give me a quick second.
Hold on, guys. I can't be Nancy right. Hold on.
I was so in the moment with Nancy here. Hold on, I forgot I got things to do.
He was so
Um,
into making tea.
Really intense
outside,
tea roleplay.
the crowd has dispersed very quickly. Like all of the storefronts are closed. As far as you can tell, there are like only a couple like stragglers left on the streets, and they are making haste to get back home. Some storefronts are still like open and have the lights on, but you don't really see too many people out and about. Everyone is just like gone home.
Do I see like any guards anywhere?
The guards have most likely like reconvened back at
Okay.
the amphitheater after scanning through the crowds who were out. But now that the crowds are gone, they're not like going door to door or anything.
Okay, the good news is, I don't think they're combing down the streets just yet. If that calms you down over there with your tea at all.
I suppose that's good news, isn't it? I'm kind of like looking down. He's looking down at his hands, like, I don't want to fucking be here. This sucks. But he's not voicing that.
Aww.
Like, do we know exactly why they're searching the streets other than just finding Aurelius? There's more orderly ways they could go about this than what they're doing.
You don't think they think someone did? I mean, you said it was just that the gods didn't choose him, right? I'm looking at Kieran.
Kieran is looking away.
All right. But you don't-
Not to put you on the spot here, Cloak, but
And then looks
You're-
back. What?
you seem to know something here.
What's it? What? Cloak?
Is Kieran still wearing his hood?
Yeah.
Dan,
I love
like,
that you
reaches
answered
up
that
and,
question
like,
in the character
in the
voice.
character, Dan just kind of like reaches up and kind of playfully like tugs the like end of the hood a bit down over Kieran's eyes.
I think if you reach up to touch the cloak, does flinch back full body.
Aww.
Oh,
Like
Dan like
full-
pulls his hand
like-
away
Like
and he's
full
like, "Oh,
body steps back. Evasive maneuver.
You made
I'm
so
sorry, I
many
didn't mean
little
to."
guys. You don't know how to handle it.
Just like, I'm
Um,
sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I was,
I think Karen will like shrink in a little bit, like pulling kind of cloak over your little arms, like you would a cardigan if you were a PTA mom. Except this is a little guy who seems like he's gonna cry.
oh no.
PTA mom envisionment is really helping me here.
Right?
Thank you so
Doesn't it
much.
bring it all together? And Karen's like,
This was really important. He was supposed to be king, and when it happens, and then
and like pitters off, trying to figure out how to fuck to explain this.
He isn't dead, is he? Is he dead? Was that like getting smited down or something? He's just dust in the wind?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Every time coronation happens, they're very far and few between. Very big deal. You must be passed on the right by whoever is currently ruling, and that's big honor. She bowed, but it's not just that. It is the gods. You have to be also chosen. It's kind of assumed who is chosen, and you're raised that way. So, for the lightning and everything to happen, and for them to be gone, it means someone took him, or he chose to leave, and he wasn't chosen. So there's no king.
So who was chosen?
Goes silent
So-
at that.
Sorry, do you mind if I ask, do you know what this will do to the rest of the political world, I suppose? In the other kingdoms, is it going to affect it?
Hey
lot.
God.
Be a mess.
Hey God.
I will
Let
say
me know what I know.
this is definitely mostly just an effect on the royal family of the Elven Kingdom, and it's not like anyone is dead. The royal family can still function as it did before. any diplomatic communications can still continue through the former
The current
queen and
queen.
through the current royals. It's just mostly very shameful on the family and leaves a lot of doubt between the people and their rulers.
Yeah.
And
Like, it's
I
not like
mean-
anything has happened to the current queen in that, like,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
the kingdom's fallen to ruin. It just is like, who's next? And, oh shit, y'all fucked up. That's kind of
I
embarrassing.
mean,
and everyone's
Nephros is
really...
Nephros is still going to be worried about it regardless because he's a silly little worrisome fool.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just mean,
yeah.
that's what Kieran elaborates on. Like, kingdom is still kingdoming, but everyone's probably going to be like, hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
it's
how
a
could you let
party
this
that
happen?
attracts a lot of people from all around, but it's not necessarily a decision that affects anyone from the other kingdoms. So the distress is probably not going to extend too far past viewing.
It won't, like, cause
but-
big diplomatic issues between the
no.
kingdoms. More like
We're just like
emotional, like...
that happened
like,
to you, didn't
yeah,
it?
less political problems and more
More
like
emotional.
Gossip
interpersonal.
It's
Yep.
tabloid
Weirdness.
news, essentially.
Yeah.
The gossip mill.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like the political
Fun.
climate of how other people view the kingdom kind of
Yes,
view. It's like, ugh.
exactly.
Yeah.
The human
I elaborate
kingdom,
all that.
The human kingdom suddenly becomes like Fox News. Like, you'll never believe
It is Fox News.
coronation.
There's headlines already. They're on scrolls. I think Kieran will like fully finish elaborating on that, and then kind of like take the cookie. Hasn't eaten any of it. Put it in pocket. What pocket? You don't know, but it's in a pocket.
Just gone.
He's
I
like,
love him so much.
like gives like a thank you. I don't even think like a thank you. I think more like holding Nancy's hands and pressing his forehead to hers. And
Oh
then
my god.
going, thank you for this. I appreciate it.
She will let you do this like kind of formal act, and then after a moment she will just like kind of slowly, so that you have chance to get away if you want, but pull you into a hug.
It's like stiff and arms are just kind of at side and then like melts into a hug.
As you melt, so does she, and she just squeezes you really tight. Big grandma hug.
Cries. When he pulls back, he like looks to the other three. You will be safe here. If you need to stay until things calm down.
Nancy nods along. She goes, my home is just upstairs. You guys are allowed to stay as long as you like.
Well, what about you? I mean, you're going back out there, and
I have to find Aurelius.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, is it not better if you were also staying safe?
I have to. I don't have a choice. But
You gonna
it's...
elaborate?
No.
Fair.
I don't know you very well, and I don't want to drag you, any of you, into what I have to do. This is a brand new responsibility I just got, like 20 minutes ago. So it's kind of a lot.
Wait a minute,
and
we've
I'm
been
sure
here
you've
for
got
10 minutes.
exactly. Time, yeah. I meant what I said 20 minutes ago. So I can go do that, and you can hide here, and then you won't be bothered by it, and I'll figure it out. I'll find him and bring him back, and then it will be all good, and it will probably be another party, and you will get to play again, and you will get to have baked goods, is what you were going for. You with the tea, and I don't know what you were doing there, Daniel, but you will have that as well. Yes, whatever it is.
I'm gonna start crying.
Oh my god.
So, yes. Like,
Nancy-
gathers up little arms.
Nancy is going to like get physically between you and the door and be like, I understand your purpose, but please spend the night here. It is late and it's dark, and I want to ensure you are in a sound state of mind before heading out.
think like he sighs and doesn't put up much effort, like much fight. Like, okay, tonight.
She just nods and kind of looks around and is like, all of you can stay. Follow me. And she heads back behind the counter, and up the stairs to her like apartment, which is like above the bakery.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm placing my teacup to the side and Nefa's getting up and following politely.
Every
Like,
time
shuffles
every time I picture Neff, I picture him in a cloak that's like completely drowning him.
No,
Oh
me
yeah,
too.
this is a relatively lanky but tall, like it's hunched in on himself because he has no self-esteem. Tiefling.
Oh my god.
Scorched.
Dan is real tall, real broad. That cloak is big.
He's a big ass dude.
It's probably real warm. It's got like fur lining on like the collar and things.
Ooh.
It's,
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty
that's
nice.
warm. That's having a great time.
Okay, so this
Is it?
bakery building is like very old. You can tell that as old as Nancy is, this bakery is like older. And it is not built for orcish people at all. You have to like crouch to go through the doors, and like squeeze. It's a very old, small building. You know how like older buildings feel like so narrow?
Mhm.
That's how this building feels.
Built for Nancy.
She leads you all upstairs. She has like kind of enough, at least like blankets or cots to like lay you out in like the living room. She doesn't have like a guest room or anything, but she makes you all up little spots. And then it's like, is there anything else I can do for you?
This has been wonderful, Nancy. We appreciate it very much. If we can repay you in any way for the kindness here.
She immediately just starts shaking her head. She's like, no. Don't even worry.
Are you sure? I got some extra. I made some coin today. If you want
She
that.
she goes, no. Oh, by the way, I will say you made 60 gold pieces once you guys split
Sweet.
the revenue from the venue between
that
the four
money.
of you.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 60 gold pieces for Rowan? Or
For
60
Rowan,
pieces?
for the
Gotcha, yeah.
from the
Get off my money! Get off my. You didn't play
No,
me.
I meant
You didn't
if that
roll a
was
nat
like
20 on
for
guitar.
no, I was wondering if that was like between the performers, if they all got 60, or like did Rowan only get 60? And,
No,
like,
they
because you're
each got
busting
60.
performance.
They each got 60 for their performance. So Rowan.
Or if you didn't split it and like they gave the money to Rowan and Rowan was like bet and like ran and was supposed to split that 60 up, that'd be funny. Like the fucking ceremony happened and Rowan was like, oh,
Bye.
No. No, she wouldn't do that to people.
Mhm,
Cute. Okay.
Honest, she would not.
Nancy will absolutely refuse to take your money. She it just simply does not even let you.
Okay.
All right. Is anyone else doing anything, or are we heading to bed?
I was gonna say, Dan is gonna saddle up to Kieran and kind of crouch down and be like, I know you said you don't need any help, but I am not in the business of leaving people to do things on their own. So I have something I have to do in town, but when I'm done, if you're still here and you need assistance, let me know. Anything
like
you need.
reaches into like the cloak of Nis and like pulls out I like to imagine like I have coin, of course, but like a different like texture of coin or like one with a different design on it, like a kind of slightly fancier coin if I may have one. Oh god. Not necessarily worth anything more, just like a different looking coin.
Like are you speaking like money or like medallion? Like
Money, but like not necessarily any fancier than a gold piece, just like a slightly fancier looking gold piece.
yeah, sure. It's probably like cleaner.
Yeah. It's like a new
Fresh
gold
from
piece.
the mint, not been passed around,
from
you
the
know?
mint. And I give Daniel
I love you so much, and I know what you mean, but you just said the phrase "no fancier than a gold piece." It's just a fancier gold piece.
I think my brain meant no more expensive than a gold piece, like no more worth. But I did just say those words with my mouth, didn't I? Yeah, intelligence isn't my best one. I give my slightly fancy gold piece to Daniel.
And takes it and is like, I don't need money. That's That's okay. You can have this back. It's fine. And he goes to hand the coin back.
Just stares really hard. Huge eyes. Just stares and keeps holding out the coin.
When you're ready, come back here. Nancy will know how to reach me. Or we'll come back here. I'll come meet you.
You've got yourself a deal. And he takes the coin and he just like kind of does like a little thing where he kind of runs it through his fingers and just slips it into a pocket.
Gives like one kind of lowish nod before turning back to like shuffling bedtime things.
Neff is gonna come in and kind of like look at whatever cots are left, take the dullest looking one, and just kind of like, because he's like, someone else can have the nice ones. I don't need anything nice. I'll sleep just fine wherever I am.
They're all made up with handmade quilts. He takes the blandest patterned one or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take
Kieran
this
takes the one
in the
with flowers
corner.
all over it, but
Yeah.
different kinds of flowers.
But Neff kind of like pulls off his backpack, his shoulder bag, and like places it at the foot of his bed. He takes off his shoes, he undoes his hair, and then he takes off the cloak. And he kind of like folds it up in a very, very practiced, neat manner. And once kind of waits for Kieran and Dan to have their conversation, and once they're finished, he's gonna clear his throat and go, excuse me, thank you so much for giving me this. It was very warm, but I think I ought to give it back to you. And he kind of like has it bundled in his hands, and he kind of holds it out to Dan. He's like, thank you. It was rather sweet. I just thought I'd give it back.
Dan kind of looks at him for a second, and he goes, "You're sure you want to give that back right now? You got anything else to hide those horns of yours?"
You actually very
yeah.
do.
I do actually, yeah. I do. I have an item that I bring with me to help. It's magical, so I guess I suppose today the field kind of got the better of me. But why do you think I should be keeping it? I just thought I'd return it. I thought you'd have a use for it. But if you think that I'll need it, I'll keep it.
I think Dan kind of like bends over a little bit to look Nephros in the eyes a little bit more. He's like, tell you what, I'm going to head out for a day or two, and I don't need it in that time. So if you want to, and he kind of like, I'm imagining you said he had like the cloak bundled, and I think Dan kind of like puts his hands on either side of the bundle, but like on top of Neff's hands to like squish him closer into the bundle of cloak. He's like, how about you?
That was such a noise.
Wait.
It's so cute. What the fuck, man? Anyway, sorry, continue on.
How about you hold on to this for me? Keep yourself warm. It's pretty solid. It can take a hit or two from an arrow. And if you don't have a use for it by the time I get back, I'll take it back.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I'll take good care of it.
You look good in browns. It brings out the bread in your eyes.
Oh my god! There are queers in this Discord server right now.
It has been one session shipping them.
You learned his name 10 minutes ago.
Neff's kind of gonna turn a bit. Well, I imagine that Neff blushes purple, so he's gonna turn a little bit purple. He's, okay. That's okay. Thank you. Yeah, and he's gonna kind of like pull back a little bit because he's very much like, like that's the sound of in a panic. in his head, and he's going to pull back and like tuck, probably place the cloak at the end of his bed.
Was I privy to any of that?
They're all in one very small
I feel like
room.
they're all in the same
We're all
room.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because I'd like
I'm
to
making
think...
the most intense eye contact where like your eyes do that, where the cat's fucking eye shines weird in the light. I'm doing that thing. I'm looking over like, what the fuck?
I'd like to
What the
think...
fuck are these people doing?
I'd like to think after like Neff kind of like scuttles away or whatever, I like to think Rowan just kind of leans over to Dan and goes, "I think you broke him."
This is amazing.
Yeah, it seems like that wasn't my intent, but
Wasn't it?
maybe a little bit. But just to,
Nice.
I'll be honest, there's a good chance that I'm not coming back in the next few days. So there's no harm either way.
Well, that's ominous as shit. Have a good night.
It has been an ominous kind of night, hasn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Actually, wait. While Dan is here, Dan's gonna take like a couple coins out of his pocket and just probably just flick a coin towards Rowan and be like, "I didn't get to put some money in your collection pot earlier, but that was some real fancy playing."
Thank you. I try.
Okay. Anything else before we head to bed?
I don't think so. I think Dan waits until everyone else has gone to bed and has gone to sleep before he sneaks out.
Oh, god damn you.
Oh, bro sneaks out. Okay, I am going to end off the session with one final thing, secret thing for Art. It's not my fault that your backstory lined up perfectly with a good first session idea. Okay, listen.
Teehee.
All right.
Nothing. I'm just a little guy.
Okay. So as you are settling into sleep, you are exhausted from the day. So you settle in pretty easily, fall asleep pretty quickly. But what feels like immediately after you lay down, you are woken up again. You sit straight up in your little cot. Everyone else is asleep around you. A gust of wind has burst open one of the other doors and it sweeps through the room over you, blowing your hood back, revealing your face. And there is kind of a lightning energy that sparks through this wind. And as you are sitting there, through the window, kind of a strike of lightning, kind of not in the way that like lightning flashes, but what looks like a branch of lightning kind of creeps into the window, if you understand what I mean. Like it kind of slowly descends into the window, and as it hits the ground, in the spot where it lands stands a very tall woman. A very tall woman with long hair that kind of starts white at the roots but fades out into almost like sparks of lightning clouds. It kind of is alive around them, the same with their clothes, which are constantly flowing in the wind, even though there doesn't seem to be any constant wind in the room anymore after the window blows open. She has these like white, beautiful eyes and this gorgeous face, and she just sort of takes a couple steps towards you and extends a hand.
I think Kieran like stares at it and starts like shaking his head.
It's not me. It's not me.
She just kind of gives you a look of sadness, lowers her hand, and goes, "Maybe not yet, but one day." And then you wake up again in the cold sweat. The window's shut. You have kind of the hair standing up on the back of your neck. You look around. This time Daniel's gone. Everyone else is still asleep in their cots. As far as you can tell, that was a dream.
Yeah, Kieran like looks around, like hand gripping at the locket hidden under their kind of clothes, and almost instinctually like reaches hand into their own hood, feeling their fluffy ears, and like pulling at the long brown hair in there, and kind of takes a moment, deep inhale, exhale, before pulling the hood back on and putting the locket away, whispering like to themselves,
Go find him. I will find who you're looking for.
Oh,
the locket.
Art! You're breaking my heart! Oh my god.
Giggles.
Giggles. Okay, that is all.
Back we go.
Yeah, I will end that session on everyone heading to bed, getting a good night's rest. You wake up the next morning and Daniel is gone. But thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of Cantripped. What a hell of a first recording session. It was so fun. All right. See you guys in the next episode. Yay!
Woo!